Well, welcome to Gondwana in Toowoomba. This afternoon we're going to talk about the conceptual ideas behind the arrangement of the work in this space and what led us to put together a show in which we were looking at immersion. We're looking at the immersion of geology and ecology, those aspects which we're really blind to in our day-to-day living in Toowoomba, but are so significant in the foundations of who we are as a culture and what we are in many respects. First of all, I'm going to talk about this map. It's a map that is due to many years of research by Professor Edwin Willey, geologist of Toowoomba. And as you can see here, these black lines tell us the main streets of Toowoomba. Here's the main range. I grew up at a house somewhere about here. This is Margaret Street, one of the main streets of Toowoomba, and this is Ruthven Street. But on top of this, we can actually see the geology. Each one of these red dots is an extinct volcano. There was two major volcanic events in Toowoomba, 27 million years ago to 25 million years ago, and 20 million years ago to 18 million years ago. Tabletop, Camel's Hump, these are two familiar mountains that we see on the way up the range, and a range of other volcanoes as well, such as Prince Henry Drive. There's a large community living on Prince Henry Drive now. Now we're going to talk about the partition that we've set up at the back. So if this is about the geology of Toowoomba, this is about where we live, then the partition is about the plants of Toowoomba and the Gondwanan history of those plants.
This is the screen that Ben and I have put together. The framework was made by Heath Pateman, but this is based on the geology of the range and the Boyce Gardens in particular. Here's part of the map of the range. And to do this so that the plants had some sort of meaning, we got a cladogram of the plant families which are in existence in the Boyce Gardens today. We got this from Professor Clifford. A cladogram is like a family tree of the plants. Over on this screen we have the more primitive plants. That is, they're not so highly evolved as all the rest of them. And in particular, we have paintings of the hoop pine up here, the bunya pine there, and down in the bottom corner is the big kauri tree, which is actually in the Botanic Gardens here. These are the kinds of plants that were in existence in Gondwanan times. Also in here are some of Ben's drawings of the ferns, and here, and various other things which are in the Boyce Gardens now and were in existence 65 million years ago. The cladogram starts down the bottom, and the ferns are all up this side of it. From here we go up through the monocotyledonous plants. Now we just call them monocots for short because there isn't a common name. These are the things like grasses, orchids and lilies. And the araucarias here and here are the more primitive of the conifer trees. There aren't any native pine trees in Australia or New Zealand. They've got all this kind of thing. Over here, we're coming into the flowering plants that we usually think of. All the things that are not orchids and irises and grasses. So here we have this family tree, and on this side we have a very old family, the Proteaceae, which are well known to Australian gardeners. It includes things like the grevilleas, macadamia, stenocarpus. They're all in the Boyce Gardens now. But there are other things. Oh, here's the Grevillea robusta, sorry. There are other things. This is Pittosporum, a common garden tree. But that family has been in existence for 65 million years. In the background, there are lots of lovely little drawings. There's a staghorn fern here. There's one of the vines and the creepers. Here's another vine and another one, and they tie the Boyce Gardens together. As we go through here, we get to other types of flowering plants. This big group here is all related to roses. Roses are the modern version of whatever that was here. Here we've got brush box, which is a member of the Myrtaceae, the eucalyptus family. Down here we have a lovely tree. It's a small tree called Rhodosphaera. Rhodanthemum. Rhodanthemum means red flowers. Here you see it here. Over here we have another well-known tree, Brachychiton discolor, with its beautiful pink flowers. Little tiny local native violet up the top there. Here, down here, is another member of the Myrtaceae, one of the lily pillies, and another lily pilly. And in the background, there are lots of leaf scans and little drawings that Ben has put in. Over here on this screen, this one actually should be over there, but there wasn't much room for it, so it did a good job here. That's another Brachychiton. We had the pea family here, and there's just one representative here, Glycine tabacina, and it's one of the vines. Over here we have some wattles, but we don't have any paintings of them because they didn't flower for me. I can't remember what that is. A piece of leaf, right? Another little flowering plant here. And up here in this corner, we come on to the Moraceae, which contains all the fig trees, of which there's 3 or 4 different species in the gardens, and these are their leaves up here. This is the giant stinging tree that we all have to be very careful about. You don't want to touch that one. So on those 2 screens there, you have all the most advanced plants. Now, all these paintings that are on here, all of them are around the walls, and the araucarias are right up towards the door up there. And in the corner, there is a totally different type of painting. It's all about what you find on the ground, leaf litter. And it's all come from up there.